Big Brother time, do you hear that sound? It's Eric Stein about to break things down. Watching the show for us 3 times a week. Instilling truth on RHAP. Your house guests better watch your mouths. Cause Stein knows when your game settings out. He's got the gift of gab and knows what to say. When you are ready, Rob, yeah, take it away.
Yes, Eric, my man, what is good?
Rob, my strategy didn't work. I was trying to fatten up baby Dino the dog so he would do worse in the endurance competitions, but he did not take the pizza bait.
Yeah, fattening up the dog is good in some ways. Dog will be slower. You'll be able to catch the dog, but then the dog will poop more walks. So it's sort of, a jing and a jang, as they say.
Come here, sweetie. I've got something for you, Rob.
Oh, thank you, Eric. Here we are, Summer of Stein, week number 9. Yes, so we are getting close to the final stretch of Big Brother 20. Eric, how are you doing? Can you believe it's the end of August? You're still podcasting about Big Brother.
I was going to say, thank God we're getting to the final stretch.
So here we are.
The ink has not dried on the autumn of Stein, so I can still jump ship.
Okay, well, we've still got a couple more weeks to go. Programming note. So coming up in September, Mondays are going to get a little tougher to schedule this podcast. Labor Day is coming up here the following Monday here in the U.S., and for some crazy reason, my family wants to make plans with me. So here's what we're going to do. For the home stretch of Summer of Stein, much like TKO, we are moving to Fridays.
Oh, no, we're going to hemorrhage off our listeners. This is terrible. How will they find us on the schedule?
Yeah, well, I don't know.
This is where podcasts go to die, Rob.
It is.
I see you're trying to me in to the end of the forever end of the Summer of Stein. No pickup for season 2.
So let's just talk this through for the next couple of weeks. At least for this upcoming Friday is going to be the 31st, where we'll do a emergency battle back special coming up on this Friday. So this will be the first of 2 times you will hear from Eric and myself this week. And so
Helen was pushed. Helen was pushed.
That episode will not have aired, so there will be spoilers in that episode based on who is coming back into the house. You could always listen to it after the episode airs on Sunday night. Then we will be back again on the 7th of February and the 14th and the 21st, which may be a preview of the recap also.
We can only hope.
Yes.
I've had some side correspondence with Hoffman. We've got some things brewing.
Yeah, so maybe we'll figure everything out.
We might do like a sitcom style trading places where he becomes me and I become him.
The tall and the short of it. Yeah.
Exactly. Or the short and the short of it, as it were.
So that's what's coming up here the next couple of weeks here on the Summer of Stein. Eric, so many people are waiting with bated breath to hear about your big viewing party this past Thursday night.
It was as epic as purported last week. First off, let me tell you something. We need to retract our previous segment about the salads because our boy Glenn has lost 40 pounds eating salads in the movies. Ring that bell. Oh, my God. He looks fantastic.
Until he starts hanging out with JC after the season.
Okay, so as you know, we were very excited for the first meetup of the Summer of Stein and the Summer of Steve. And I came in like gangbusters. I see Glenn. I see Carol. I see Gina Marie. I see Adam. But where's Steve? Where's Steve? Canceled at the last minute. Couldn't get out of work.
Oh, my God. Why? It's supposed to be the Summer of Steve.
Summer of Steve 2018.
Glenn did regale me with tales about all of the mutual friends they have and some of the plans they have for All-Stars. So it is nice to see that some of our friends are connecting. So that was fine. It was a setback, I will say.
Yes.
I was very disappointed because I was, wanted to post a picture of Stein and Steve together at last. All right, but Adam, our faithful host, told me I might be able to do you one better because your guest from the night before, Caitlin, was still out on Long Island, and she was going to join us.
Yes.
All right, so this is good. This is good because I could get some live life coaching. I was going to take out the iPhone and record it for us.
$35 value.
Yep, Caitlin canceled about an hour beforehand. She cited some sort of family. Yep, I had a hit that it was going to happen as well. She cited a family emergency, but then strangely enough, on Instagram, she had an Instagram live and posted pictures of getting her hair done. I mean, maybe that was in a family emergency of sorts. I'm not really sure.
I've had a lot of podcast guests that have many, many family emergencies. There are so many.
Fairness, if you're Caitlin and you heard that it was going to be Carol Journey from season 8, Glenn, Adam, Gina Marie, and America's Player, wouldn't you cancel also?
There is no greater family emergency than being called to hang out with that crew.
On the plus side, though, we did know that we had one of our really good friends of the podcast on the email chain. So I was holding out hope that we might have a late arrival from my friend and yours, Paulie Calafiore. Paulie did not show up either.
Oh my God.
Access denied.
But from out of the cover of darkness came the great R.C. Saint Amour to make everything right.
Wow. Back from
that was the whole crew.
The Nightlands.
I was getting texts from Crazy James, stuck at work. Didn't see Monica Bailey, no Michelle Marity, nobody.
Yeah, what was Crazy James stuck doing at work?
Well, apparently he was doing some stock work and one of the packages exploded. So he had to clean up the mess.
Oh, boy. Okay. Wow. An RC sighting. Wow. What's she up to?
She actually had some, she was doing good. She's doing good. Had some big personal news, but I don't think that's really for me to share.
Okay. So. All right. Did she weigh in on how Russell did on Australian Survivor?
Actually, she was in really, as much as I'd like to deliver a punchline here, was in really great spirits.
Oh, good.
Really was in a good spot. She was doing well, seemed pretty delighted, and was following Big Brother 20 quite closely.
Yes. Did she express any desire to podcast?
None whatsoever. I actually, I told her I thought she may have passed, but was just glad to see she was still alive.
Not passed on the event. Actually, I was lost
to the other side.
Yes,
right?
Yes. All right. So, Eric, you did not get to hang out with our hero, Paulie Calafiore, in the person, but luckily, you and I were able to hear a beautiful message from Paulie Calafiore, because shortly after we recorded last week's podcast, I received this wonderful message from one of our listeners, Elise, who says, as the confirmation email might suggest, you guys are in for a personalized video from the one and only my brother Cody, a.k.a. Paulie Calafiore.
Yeah, Cody would be way more.
Yeah.
My brother Cody.
Definitely wanted it to be a surprise, so sorry for the confirmation email tanking that. My investment of $35 is totally worth it for the joy you guys give me every week, so stay being awesome, my dudes. So thank you very much, Elise. We really appreciate this. I would love for this to be a thing, for people to send us messages from celebrities via Cameo, and we do not receive any financial retribution for this, but it is great content, and I appreciate it, so thank you very much for that.
Oh, let me say a few things. First of all, whatever joy we may bring Elise week to week, this brought me so much more joy. So now we are completely indebted, and I am willing to make a one-time offer.
Oh.
Actually, I'll do it in exchange for any book Cameo sent our way I will record a book cameo back for Elise.
Okay, so you will do a quid pro quo of if somebody gets you a book cameo, you will reciprocate with your own book cameo. So it's sort of like that you're on book cameo at this point, but you're being paid in messages from other celebrities.
I know that we often discuss recency bias on the podcast, and maybe I'm a little bit biased here in the moment, but if I had to say, that was probably one of the best 3 gifts I've ever received in my life.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I'm nothing but grateful and want to, anyone who would think of us in that manner, I would like to return the favor to them. It's only fair.
Okay. Good stuff. All right. So this is really great. So now, unfortunately, or fortunately for us, that all of these book cameos become in the public domain because if you do a book cameo for somebody, then it ends up on their page. So that's we could not keep the secret for the week. I would have loved to have had this been a big surprise for everybody coming into this week. But many of our very astute listeners were able to visit the book cameo site for Paulie Calafiore this week, and then scroll down to see all of the messages that Paulie...
This must be what Steven's doing wrong. He didn't go topless for his profile.
He should. Because Paulie Calafiore, when you go to his page, if you see here, there is a message in the latest messages here for Rob Cesternino and Eric Stein. Not everybody gets their last name as well. So Paulie Calafiore here.
Whoever's doing the screen grabs on these, he looks very unwell in the other 2 that we're seeing on the screen right now.
So we have for you, here is the message recorded by Paulie Calafiore for Rob Cesternino and Eric Stein. And let me see if I can get this synced up. Okay. All right, here we go.
What is up, Rob and Eric? I heard you guys are huge Big Brother fans.
You hear this?
Is from your friend Elise.
Do not get the audio.
Here, let me try it. Let me try this again. All right, so let me here. I'll play you the audio because that you're not gonna be able to hear the video on the podcast version, on the video version. Okay, so here we go.
Good.
Let's try this again.
What is up, Rob and Eric? I heard you guys are huge Big Brother fans. This is from your friend Elise, and you are in for it today because I got another Big Brother legend right next to me, the Venezuelan princess. I was told to give you some life advice. So this is something that I recently started doing in a world full of negativity.
Yes.
Start feeding the positive, and then the negative seems to go away, and you only see the positive. So take that into everyday life. I know life can get hard, but stay crushing it.
Now, hold on. I want to listen to that advice because I think it was important. It was one more time.
We started doing in a world full of negativity, start feeding the positive. And
start feeding the positive. So not unlike JC here.
Right. I thought feeding your fellow house guest.
Here, he's positive. Come on. Eat,
come here, sweetie. Have some positive.
Going to make you fat on positive.
The negative seems to go away, and you only see the positive. So take that into everyday life. I know life can get hard, but stay crushing it.
Yeah.
I have so many questions. so many questions. The first is, did Elise tell Paulie that we were down on our luck, that we were having hard times? He knows life can get hard and we need all this advice. Like, did she say like, hey, I have these 2 friends.
Yeah,
and they're so desperate. They're in their upper 30s and they podcast on Big Brother every week.
And they listen to your book cameo messages constantly over and over again.
It's the summer and they're indoors all the time recording the Summer of Stein, named after themselves. You know?
A lot of people wanted to know, did Paulie Calafiore know that the message he was recording was for you and I? Have you met Paulie Calafiore in person?
Oh, I've met him, all right. Yes, I've been at events that he's thrown.
Okay,
back.
All right. I have interviewed him, and so at least met him in person. But again, he may not have any sort of knowledge of my existence on this planet. But here's how he addresses us.
What is up, Rob and Eric? I heard you guys are huge Big Brother fans. This is from your friend Elise.
I mean, not incorrect.
I mean, I'm a relatively decent-sized Big Brother fan. Yeah, okay. I can't disagree with that. And then what is it? What's the next? It goes, and you're in for it.
You guys are in for it today.
And you are in for it today because I got another Big Brother legend right next to me, the Venezuelan princess. I was told to give you some life advice. So,
two for the price of one. I mean, you cannot argue with that. I do wonder, in your eyes, Rob, what constitutes a Big Brother legend? When he said Big Brother legend, what level of legend were you anticipating might be beside him? Did you think it was going to be his brother Cody? Did you think he was doing investigation with Detective Derek Levasseur? What level of legend?
That Natalie may not be a Big Brother legend.
Oh, no, I'm not throwing any shade. I mean, she is definitely had some legendary moments in the house.
Stay crushing it.
What do you think of the Paulie Calafiore new sign-off?
Stay crushing it.
Actually, that probably inspired me the most, if anything. And you know what? I know that I wish I was hearing it for the first time right now, but I did hear this earlier in the week.
Yes.
And I've stayed crushing it ever since. So with good vibes like that and only feeding the positive, this has been the third or fourth best week of my entire life.
Oh, good. Good. All right.
In fact, I'm just going to say this. I know this is a big decision, and I probably shouldn't do it in the heat of the moment. Don't want to be hasty. I'm firing Caitlin as my life coach, and I'm hiring Paulie.
Wow. Paulie Calafiore is the new life coach.
Gonna feed the positive and stay crushing it from here on in. My worst nightmare, and I think a very believable nightmare, is that Paulie, Cody, Frankie, and Derek will all be on All Stars 2, and they will just wipe the floor with everybody else.
Yeah.
That is a 4-person legitimate, core serious alliance with some real strength to it. And, on the first All Stars, you had the whole alliance from BB6. What if these 4 just go on there and stay crushing it all season long?
Boy. That'd be,
dark.
Yeah.
We're going to need BB legend Natalie Negrotti in there to break this up.
She'll be with them.
Yeah, she probably will be.
She'll be the new Victoria.
And I'll be Chicken George with my tinfoil hat on in the backyard trying to entertain everybody.
Frankie?
I'll be like, Frankie, I've been to your apartment 10 times, man. I'll be like, oh, I heard you were a big brother. Yeah. Oh my God, what if mommy's in their alliance? This is insurmountable. Forget it.
Yeah. Eric, did our message from Paulie Calafiore atop the number one in the clubhouse, Paulie Calafiore's message for Jason?
Jason, my man, what is good? You really are one of the most loyal supporters. You've been here since day one, bro. And don't think I don't notice. I remember all my ride or dies from the beginning. I see who flip-flops. I see who comes back when the times are good. I see who leaves when the times are bad. And you are a real one. So stay being awesome, my dude. At Unlimited Jason, the boss.
Well, there's a few things. First of all, he did not recognize that we've been there since the beginning. So he couldn't do that. He also didn't know how to pluralize my man. He was kicking around Rob and Eric, my mans. He didn't land on men.
My men.
Yeah, he couldn't get there.
We're the real ones.
And we're not real. So it's just he had to redo the script. That probably took an extra 5 minutes for him. I'm surprised he didn't upsell.
I remember all my ride or dies from the beginning. I see who flip-flops. I see who comes back when the times are good. I see who leaves when the times are bad.
Not us. Not leaving.
I see who interviews me in the backyard. I see who attended my events in New York. I think I gave him a bro hug at the time, but now I'm going to pretend like we don't know each other so you could be a part of my secret Hi Mommy alliance.
That's the name of the
I was actually approached for an All-Stars alliance by Vanessa, Amanda, and Frankie once.
Okay.
And they pre-named themselves the Chosen Ones because apparently they are all at least Jewish or 50% Jewish, in spite of what you might guess. And they claimed that the Jewish people were the Chosen Ones, and we would also be, quote, Productions chosen ones. And I said, if you want a surefire way to be the 4 lowest people in popularity, the 4 of us can align and call ourselves the chosen ones. We will have every power used against us, and we'll be out weeks 1 through 4.
Wow. This is
They tried to have a summit in the Catskills prior to the season to discuss our strategies. I politely declined.
all right. We'll have to see if that ever comes to fruition. I promise we will talk about Big Brother 20 at some point in this podcast. But one other quick diversion, because I love book Cameo. This is not a commercial. I love it's cameo.com. I'm always interested to see new people that are added. And I had a couple of fantasy football drafts this weekend. My curiosity got the best of me, and I clicked the fantasy football tab, which features such prominent standouts like Monte Ball, Matt Barkley, Matt Leinart, and I was saying, like, oh, it would be so funny if I got one of these people to record a message for my league. And as I scrolled down, I noticed, in addition to the fat Jewish being there in the fantasy football section, I noticed a very curious entry here at the bottom of the page. Ron Jeremy is listed as one of the people in the fantasy football category on bookcameo.com, and I'm not really sure why, Eric.
I was expecting Chattanooga, Tennessee's Faysal the Vessel down there somewhere.
He would be good.
Yeah, Ron Jeremy, as I'm sure, in fact, I think the night that I very first met you is the night I met Ron Jeremy.
Yes, I've met him a number of times, the great
Yes.
Ron Jeremy.
But what you don't know is that I was approached to do a bus tour with the great Ron Jeremy. It was going to be Ron Jeremy, Doug Benson, and myself.
Yes, okay.
And the thought of the amount of R-rated activity that I'd be forced to witness on that bus made me bow out gracefully from that. Almost like I had to bow out from the Chosen Ones Alliance.
Eric, I don't want to bum people out though, but the Ron Jeremy book Cameo sample is kind of a bummer. That Ron Jeremy appears to be somewhere against his will, reading a message that is you can clearly see in the shot written out in front of him. For $150, this is the kind of message you get from Ron Jeremy.
Hi, I'm Ron Jeremy. Check me out along with other celebrities on Cameo, where we make videos just for you.
What? It was an ad, or that was the personalized message for the person.
That's like Jose's. That's like if nobody has bought your book Cameo message.
Oh
yet.
my God, that sounded like Angela in the diary room with the producers feeding her the lines at gunpoint.
But you literally, the paper in front of him is what he has to say on the thing. So, all right.
The paper in front of you read that message, Rob, but you're going up. It's Angela's every single message. Angela's the only person who gives diary rooms that are actually like informed by the episode itself, like as if she's seen an advanced cut of the scene ahead of time, and then she can always be like, "Well, guess what? I pulled the rug out from under you." Like, well, how does she know what they're showing? So she seems very clued in the diary room, suspiciously enough.
They're workshopping this stuff with her. Okay.
For $150, Ron Jeremy should be giving you a different kind of video.
Yeah. All right.
Not for nothing.
Yeah. All right, Eric. So should I also return suit? Yeah. If somebody buys that, or do you want to have a monopoly on this? The quid pro quo.
Do you have a sense of how someone actually gets approved to join?
Well, I have no idea. I have no idea if there's an approval process, if there's like somebody.
I wonder if I need to because if I need to be approved, I probably won't make it on the site. But I'm wondering if I should just be running like a 1 week special, like the blue light $1 special or something like that. That could get me like lunch this week, maybe, or like at least like a buttered hard roll.
A buttered hard roll.
Well, because I'm only get like $2. Maybe a Wendy's 4-piece nugget.
Eric, eat. Come on. You look so skinny.
What's up? It's the E-Man, your boy from the Summer of Stein.
My man, Eric, what is good? I will do all messages as Paulie Calafiore.
I don't think I told you this. while walking Baby Dino the dog, I was accosted on the street while wearing my pajamas at about midnight by a listener of the Summer of Stein. And the guy's like, Eric Stein. And I'm like, oh dear. Like, it's like, I thought this was like someone I went to high school with, or like, someone I like, was in like an intramural sports league with or something like that. And he's like, it turns out that this man once upon a day roomed with Zach Rance.
Oh, really?
Yes.
How was that?
He seemed pretty happy about it.
Yeah.
So who knew? Maybe we're catching on. That could be my first buyer right there.
Okay. Eric, actually, then one other quick question about your viewing party. This from Kelly Lynch. Eric, now that you're tight with Swaggy C, will he be attending the next New York area Big Brother alum viewing party?
Well, I don't know if you heard this, Rob, but after last week's podcast, I did have the good fortune, as encouraged by you, to send an encouraging, supportive tweet Swaggy's way. Mm-hmm. And wouldn't you know it, this was just the recipe I needed. Over 1,000 likes again. I'm back in the Twitter business, baby.
Yeah, good for you, Eric.
And Swaggy did like what I said. And I had the good fortune of both getting a now deleted response from him and a retweet. What do I win? Thank you very much.
I don't know. Did we have a bet?
I believe I have earned one book cameo from the great Rob Cesternino.
Wait, I have to buy you. So I have to go on Book Cameo and buy you a celebrity message.
You have to record me one from yourself.
From myself. Yeah.
Exactly.
Eric.
Congratulating on my great accomplishments.
Eric did send a great message to Swaggy C after last week's podcast. Yo, Swaggy C TV, is there any way you can get back in the CBS Big Brother house and shake some sense into Fessy? He needs some of Swaggy's swag right about now. The dude took too many hits in his football career. Please help him, help us. We need Swaggy, BB20. So you're implying, Eric, so this is something that nobody else is talking about, that you think that maybe Fessy, everybody's like, ha, 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 Fessy is so dumb. You think that maybe this could be a football-related, that you're saying that maybe that Fessy won too many times in the concussion protocol.
Well, just like Enzo starred in several films after BB12, I believe Faysal has a role booked for Concussion 2, and that explains his decision-making in the Big Brother house. I wore my Dylan Panthers t-shirt in honor of the great football player Fessy, and although instead of clear eyes, full hearts can't lose, this is cloudy eyes, no heart, no brain will lose.
No brainer.
Yeah, exactly. He's no brainer indeed.
Eric, let's talk about our eulogy for Scottie as he went out of the house this week. For now, we'll see. Battle back is looming, but I guess Scottie 1.0. Do you have a eulogy for Scottie?
Scottie doesn't know.
Still.
But the thing is, right? Here's the thing. As much as I jest, doesn't that really summarize Scottie's presence in the house? He really had no good sense of what was going on. And that was really sort of like a systemic problem for the Faute Alliance the entire summer. And Scottie was included in that. They just never could figure out what was staring them right in the face. An alliance on the other side of the house that was voting against them week in and week out. And he didn't recognize what the Haley and Fessy situation was doing to him. He didn't recognize what Tyler and Brett were doing to him. So I think Scottie doesn't know says it all. And I believe I think I like Scottie. I look forward to meeting Scottie. I think he's a really solid, good, my man kind of dude.
Yeah.
But I don't think he was a very good Big Brother player. And I think everyone sort of hope for Scottie as a good Big Brother player is a little bit of fan fiction. It's that he seemed like he represented someone who theoretically could have done something to stop this, but he was absolutely clueless during his time in the house.
Was not crushing it.
He did not stay crushing it. It's interesting though, right? Because the battle back, as much as I don't like it, I would never vote someone who is out of the game to win one of these games. They get to sit out several evictions. They learn additional information. They recharge. They get to eat. They're not have-nots. I think they have a huge advantage. And the object of the game is to not get eliminated.
Mhm.
But I always thought in Big Brother 16 that if Hayden had battled his way back into the house, that he was the one and only person that actually posed a legitimate threat to Derek in the game. And that's why Derek got him out when he did. And if he had come back, he had nothing to lose. He could win a competition and he would have gone for it. I do wonder if Scottie holds that potential value, but couldn't you realistically see Scottie just crawling right alongside of Tyler, much in the way that Nicole did with Derek again? I'm not sure that Scottie will ever have this picture in full until he goes back and watches the episodes.
At some point, and you know he will. He won't be one of these people that like, oh, never watched, didn't care. He will, by the end of the weekend, finish the binge.
I don't know how I forgot
Yes.
this. For the first time in 11 years, yesterday, I sat down and watched 2 episodes of Big Brother 8.
Oh, you've never watched your season?
I watched a little bit when I first got off, never finished it, and never went back after that and watched it again.
Okay. What was the reason?
What I have to can't say.
Okay.
But what I can say though is Joe Barber was really entertaining in those first 2 episodes.
Yes.
You don't realize those things at the time. You're a little too close to it. You have your personal feelings about the people, and you come off and you're not really like seeing the big picture. But watching it now, damn, I really enjoyed Joe on the show. He was a great character.
Okay, Joe Barber for All-Stars.
That was my only takeaway from the first 2 episodes.
Okay, he was good. All right, let's bring in a question from our great friend Mike Bloom, who wrote into the show this week. And Mike wants to know, on a scale of 1 to 5 oofs, rate Scottie's response here in my exit interview with him. Mike Bloom, of course, does the exit interviews for Parade.com. And he asked Scottie, what's your relationship like with Haley? Would you like to keep it as it is, or would you rather... No. Did you ever fear that Fessy would get jealous of the time you spent together? And Scottie said, no. If I get out of here to find out that that's what happened, I'm going to be so pissed that he would be that petty. That would infuriate me. There's no way it was that petty of a reason. That would suck.
Would you rather fight one giant Fessy, angry, concussed Fessy, or 1,000 Haleys, or keep your relationship the same with them, in which they voted you out of the house? Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
To be fair, that I don't believe that the reason 100% is that Scottie went home because Fessy was jealous of his relationship with Haley. I think that's an oversimplification. Some would say reductive.
Well, Fessy, in his mind, would never see Scottie as a threat to him. So I agree with that statement. I think it might have helped ease the process along, but I do not think it was the sole reason.
Yes. Was it a factor?
However,
yes. Was it the only reason? No.
But to answer this question, here we are, week 9 of the Summer of Stein, am ready to finally debut my oofometer.
Oofometer!
Yes, it is the scale by which we will judge all oofs from now on. I don't know if you've ever caught an episode of Are You the One, but to show how many right answers they have, they do 1 light at a time.
Yes.
So it's like, you have 1 light, you have 2 lights. So I want everyone out there to chant out with me, and I will give 1 oof at a time until I reach the level on the scale that I think this is on the oofometer.
Yeah, is this like on the Price is Right, where they have, I forget if it's the gentlemen, do we have 1 oofs?
100% correct. That is right. So here we go. To answer the great Mike Bloom, how many oofs is this level of stupidity?
Okay. And I think that also that should be how we spell the word oof, with the number of O's for how on a scale of 1 to 5.
All right.
Okay.
Gentlemen, do we have 1 oof?
Well, am I asking it or are you asking it?
All right. I guess you should, right? Okay.
My men, do we have 1 oof?
Oof.
My men, do we have 2 oofs?
Now, wait, I have a question. If there are 2 oofs, do I just singularly oof again, or do I do a double oof?
You could do an oof, just single.
Okay.
Because 5 oofs is going to be a lot.
Okay. Oof.
My men, what is good? Do we have 3 oofs?
Oof.
Gentlemen, my men, what is good? Do we have 4 positive oofs? No. Okay, 3 oofs. 3 oofs it is. Why 3?
Well, listen, it's not great. It's showing a continued lack of awareness. I think maybe to Scottie's credit, maybe he's just one of these people who has faith in other people. So, he just wouldn't imagine someone to stoop to that level of petty. This is a pretty sad lack of awareness, but in the scope of what we've witnessed inside of the house, including Fessy's move itself, this cannot be at the top of the euphometer.
Okay. So, yeah, there's going to be worse things along the way. A couple of
the 3-oof situation, yeah.
A couple of the Scottie things from the episode the other night. I loved it when Julie asked him, what did he tell Sam on his way out the door?
You just whispered something to Sam. What did you whisper to her?
I said it's not goodbye, TTFN, ta-ta for now.
Oh.
TTFN.
Like how disappointed Julie is. Oh.
To all my ride or dies out there, I gotta say TTFN.
I'd let you stump a... Oh, wait, that's not... Wait, hold on. Gotta get my Scottie going. I'd let you stump a mud hole in me in the bedroom, Sam.
Then there was another good...
You curb stomped my heart this summer, Sam.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I also liked it when Scottie told Fessy that, hey, Fessy, I changed my mind. Don't put Haley up on the block.
If you put Haley on the block, I'll kick your ass.
He told Fessy, I'll kick your ass.
Oh my goodness, this is that would be a headbutt around the world. The likes of Chef Joe and Willie Nance.
All right, Eric, let's talk about last night. JC debuted a new strategy on the show that he is going to be overfeeding all of the other contestants so that they are very sluggish and unable to keep up with JC in any of the competitions. Yeah.
Come on and get nice and fat, my sweeties.
I also noticed that he debuted My Sweeties in the diary room this week. That came out a few times.
JC may not win this game, but he has a decent shot at $500,000 on bookcameo.com in the next year.
I'll tell you, he may not win this game, but he has won my heart. This guy is an absolute gem. Oh my goodness, fantastic! I swear, I am not being hyperbolic here. I think he is one of the better blends of character and game player that we've had in the last several seasons. I mean, he is people are not going to like this comment, but the only other person that I can think of who's on his level is Paul, in terms of people who actually provided content for the TV show and played the game well in the last several seasons.
Yeah, I can see that.
Friendship.
Yeah, I think that's a good call. Because usually people are one or the other. They're a great character, but they're terrible at the game. Or they're really good at the game, and they are very boring TV.
Yeah, the only other person that comes to mind is the great Jocasta Odom.
Yeah, that is true. Vanessa, I think that she brought drama. I don't know if you say like, oh, what a character Vanessa is, but she definitely did keep it really interesting.
Yeah, I think that she did a solid job, but JC is, I mean, he's legitimately entertaining. And you feel like he's also generating this himself, but also is just completely game to say or do literally anything. Mm-hmm. I think we all know that this was a fabricated segment by the producers.
Yeah, I don't think it was.
That was just a strategic point he was making.
Why is he doing all these things then? You think that it goes as far as like the diary room, like, why don't you feed everybody so much?
maybe it's like he's just been cooking some disgusting stuff in the house, and they realized they had a montage that they could make of like heapings of ice cream on top of beef spaghetti or whatever it is they were making.
Yeah. A lot of people want to know about JC's lunch. This is a question from one of our listeners, Jack. If you were forced to have one specific food for the rest of your life, what would it be? A bagel with cheese, Steve's salad from I believe that was Glenn's salad, not Steve, and JC's hot dog spaghetti dish. Let me play you a clip. This is JC's recipe for hot dog pasta.
I made like a pasta with hot dogs, ground beef, and everything I found around the house. This is like a beef sauce.
I love how he explains it away. It's just some beef sauce.
Yeah.
Standard Italian beef sauce. That's probably what you grew up with, right? I feel like that's something that you'd get in a can from Chef Boyar JC.
Oh.
Yeah. Hey, what is good? It is Chef Boyar JC with my new spaghetti and beef sauce. Only $1 on bookcameo.com.
I mean, were the hot dogs going bad? What was the reason for they look? It'd be great if we had sausage. Well, we have hot dogs.
Nothing about JC tells me there's any reason for us to believe that he'd be a good chef. I think out of sheer laziness, people probably just eat whatever is put in their face. I was wondering, what other types of strategies along these lines do you think we could theoretically implement in the future? Like, this might be a new evolution of strategy, and I know that that's, down your wheelhouse. So in addition to fattening people up, like, what else could we do? Like, could we, mess with the heels of their sneakers, possibly? What other types of high-end strategy points could mess with people without them even realizing
Yes,
it?
the types of things that we are slowly raising the temperature on the frog in the pot of water so that we're doing something to people that they may not realize until...
I got one.
Yes.
I got one. What about right before the live show, the old collegiate prank? You could sprinkle some Tabasco into the couch cushions, and everyone needs to sit there when the live show is happening, and it will slowly absorb into their pantaloons prior to the HOH competition, and you just leave your seat alone, so their pants are on fire prior to the next competition.
Now, I think there's a fine line here between poisoning people and then things like is JC, what he's doing, is that within the ethical handbook of play, Eric?
I believe so. I do. I believe if you have access to it in the house, it's well within all is fair in love, Big Brother, and Stan crushing it. It's my life motto. But I do think that there are probably other implementations of this that people could get, really clever with. Like, what if he implemented, next week? I feel like this is going to keep going up and up and up until he really is pushing it. So what if he introduced the liar, liar, pants on fire strategy? And if he suspected a fellow house guest of possibly lying, he does sort of a hot foot on them and lights up their shoelaces and see if their pant leg can actually catch fire prior to the next competition.
Maybe that could be a good tell.
Liar, liar, pants on fire. Exactly.
Could he switch out the coffee in the house for decaf?
I'm thinking way bigger. What if
Extra
he
cap.
suspects someone of being a witch in the house and throws them in the pool to see if they can float, possibly, or makes them wear a scarlet letter or something in the house? I think he's going big now, big with his strategies.
Eric, Maureen emailed the show and wants to know, in the spirit of JC's segment, what's the grossest food concoction you think you could get other people to eat in the house?
Well, first of all, literally anything, because you only get X number of groceries. This might be a little known fact about the Big Brother house. You get the same types of chips and cookies and salad week in and week out. So by the time you're this far into the summer, you are so sick of eating the same stuff over and over again that people actually are looking for a delicious beef sauce just to mix up their life a little bit.
Mix it up.
So Yeah, I think we can push it. Not to mention, I am actually well known for my repurposed leftovers. Gotta, variety is the spice of life, Rob.
Give me
I know
an
that you're
example.
a
What do you
man.
do with repurposed leftovers?
Well, I slice up some hot dogs, take a little ground beef. Get out again. No, I have no examples, but I know that you're a man who likes to repeat his finest meals wherever possible, as is Torrance.
Yes.
But I like to mix it up in my life. I'm just saying, got to keep it light.
Come on and get nice and fat, my sweeties.
I've never really, I guess it happens one way or the other, but I actually lost about 15 pounds when I was on the show. So I always find it interesting when people actually gain weight on the show.
It goes one way or the other. Sometimes people go in and
yeah.
then they gain weight. Sometimes people go in and they lose weight. So JC has been working on that. One other question on this. Let's take another tweet from one of our listeners. And this is one from Ashley. We've seen people use cooking in the kitchen as a strategy like June, but I don't think we've ever seen it used as a strategy to fatten the house guests up. What do you think of JC's move? Is it working? Will we see this in future seasons? Eric, I don't know if there's anybody that we could point to and say, boy, that person, this explains what was going on there.
This is a very high-level strategy. I will say, without naming names, that the producers did call me into the DR on my season and try to egg me on into a segment about a certain house guest gaining weight throughout the summer. So this is something that they must love as a narrative or something. It was like, Eric, you tell me, have you noticed any changes in any of your fellow house guests? I was like, nope, haven't noticed that.
I'm not. Okay.
Yeah. So, but I guess this is a long time coming in the history of Big Brother. But I give him credit. I think that the best one that I saw though was the coffee.
Miami Cafecito.
It's pretty much just melted sugar.
Drink it. Okay. Eric, the Zingbot came to the house this week. Are you a fan of the Zingbot?
I am. I'm disappointed that I was on so many moons ago that I was not zinged. Although, I feel like I know exactly what my zing would have been, so I could just put myself into that headspace.
What would it have been?
It would have been like, Eric, didn't you know you're supposed to be on Big Brother, not Beauty and the Geek? Because I was with Jessica.
Yeah. So I'm hoping that you can hear this. We actually got a call for you from the Zingbot, so you need not wonder.
I finally could be zinged after all.
Yeah, you need not wonder what the Zingbot had to say for you. Here's that message from the Zingbot.
Eric, some people say that in Big Brother 8, you wiped the competition, but actually, you only wiped your ass from back to front. Zing!
Did that even make sense, Zingbot? I don't.
I don't take it as an insult.
That
You mean I reformed hygiene for men nationwide? Yeah, okay.
Yeah. I don't even. You wiped the competition. You didn't even wipe the floor with the competition. I think the Zingbot needs to go back to the drawing board with that one.
Yeah, it could have hurt a lot worse than that.
So, Eric, the Zingbot came in, and the storyline with the Zingbot turned out to be that the Zingbot is now a political figure, has a very corrupt administration, is over at Zing-a-Lago, has incriminating photos. The house guests need to work to recover those photos. But I thought it might be interesting to revisit the history of the Zingbot, because I kind of feel like, as someone who worked for the WWE, I think it's time for a turn in the Zingbot storyline. I feel like the Zingbot storyline has gotten a bit tired, and I think that we need a new development in the storyline of the Zingbot.
All right, I'm ready for it.
So this is the history of the Zingbot going back to Big Brother 12, where the Zingbot 3000 emerged from the diary room to roast the house guests. In Big Brother 13, the Zingbot returned for the Bride of the Zingbot competition, and love was in the air. A showmance was born, and Zingbot and the Bride of the Zingbot were an item And things really escalated quickly as baby Zingbot was born in Big Brother 14 and returned for baby Zingbot's first birthday in Big Brother 15. By Big Brother 16, the Zingbot was broken. And Kathy Griffin had to deliver the zings as the Zingbot could only give props. Ironically, all of the props are broken now, but that's a different story. And so then the Zingbot and Kathy Griffin would have an interesting timeline over the next couple of years as well, as the Zingbot would sort of morph into a Trump-like character, and Kathy Griffin would have her. But at one point, the Zingbot and Kathy Griffin were very tight. We don't know how Kathy Griffin feels about the Zingbot now, if she's posted any pictures with a head of the Zingbot anywhere. But that's a story for another time. By Big Brother 17, Eric, then the Zingbot had fallen on hard times. He became zingle and ready to mingle.
Oh, that's when he attended the Grunk party during the takeover.
Yes. Yes.
He won a trip on the Grunk cruise.
So Bride of Zingbot, gone. Baby Zingbot, also gone. Zingbot is single. But by Big Brother 18, the story takes a turn when the Zingbot is announcing his candidacy for president. Zingbot.
It seems strange because prior to then, I don't think we've seen anything that would point to the fact that he would be qualified to be the president.
Yes.
He seems like sort of like a reality TV personality of sorts.
He was a newcomer to politics, but people liked that he was not part of the establishment. So he was going to come in, shake things up. And
he had been tweeting incessantly in between.
He did have a lot of stuff. He was active on Twitter. In Big Brother 19, the Zingbot had won the presidency and was then, his administration was mired in scandal. And then these scandals have continued to plague the Zingbot here into Big Brother 20. Eric, in Big Brother 21, would you like to see a continuation of the Zingbot administration storyline, or would you like to see the Zingbot storyline veer in a new direction?
Definitely would love a new direction from there. And what immediately came to mind is as follows. Zingbot has fallen out of office due to his history of scandals. He has hired JC as his personal chef, and he has gained several parts in his midsection.
Yes, go on.
And he has a new lady in his life, Robot Sam.
Robot Sam, okay.
Yes, and JC, Robot Sam, and the slightly more portly Zingbot are now all living together in Sam's family trailer on her parents' property.
Okay, I like this. I like this a lot. Now, I was going to pitch that maybe that we should see Zingbot try to win back the Bride of Zingbot. I feel like that might follow the traditional 3-act structure of boy meets girl, and then rise to power, boy loses girl, and then he was going to have to, do something to be able to win back the Bride of Zingbot and baby Zingbot. But you think go in a different direction. This is second wife territory for the Zingbot. He shows up with Sam in the robot suit.
Well, knowing what I know of Big Brother and Mr. Spectacular, they love nothing more than a good repetitive joke. They like to really drive those home. So I would say that there's probably a fair chance that we'll see Robot Sam at some point in future seasons.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that this is a great way to work her in to the storylines here. I think they would be a natural fit for each other and possibly a really dynamic comedy duo.
See, I like the idea, though, of JC. I'm not sure if we can work it in with the Zingbot, but I like the idea of the somebody struggling with that JC is on one shoulder telling you what to eat.
Come on and get nice and fat, my sweeties.
And maybe Mr. Spectacular is on the other shoulder where he's telling you.
What if
like,
there's two
hey,
punishments?
spit that out.
2 veto punishments. One is you need to eat Jesse's all protein and greens diet, and the other is for a full week, JC is your personal chef, and all you get is Chef Boyard JC.
Yeah, I mean, they should come in and host a food competition, the two of them.
I think we are actually seeing into the future. You've had a hit, Rob.
Finally, after all this time. Very excited.
stay crushing it.
Yeah. Okay. So,
What did you think of the zings? Were you happy with how they landed, or not particularly?
yeah, they were. I was fine with them. I thought they did a good job. I was not disappointed.
I came up with a few just in the event that this were to come up.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
Here we go. Casey, you're about as relevant as the singing duo Casey and JoJo. In fact, I'd rather watch JoJo Spatafora than you sing. All right, ready?
Okay.
Here's my next one. Tyler, I know that you have the observation skills of a lifeguard, but to me, you're nothing but a surfer.
Oh, that's hitting below the belt.
And lastly, JC, much like another famous JC. This could go in several different directions. One is you sacrificed your game for Tyler. Or two is, if Tyler is Justin Timberlake, then you are his JC Chassé. Zing!
Zing Sync. Maybe we get a boy band going on for Zingbot moving forward.
It's Julia Nolan, Johnny Mac, Steve Moses, and JC Chassé.
Yeah. Okay. Let's get to our next topic going on here. Let's talk quickly about Tyler and Angela. Do you have any thoughts on the developing showmance there, Eric?
I'm not impressed. I'm not impressed. There seems to be something very infantile about the whole thing. But I do maybe have a theory that might inform us to that. And this is bad news for the returning possibilities for Angela and Tyler. I think they might be, intentionally playing coy in the diary room, because this is something that I, in fact, did during my season. I refused to answer any questions truthfully about the showmance, and I would say things like, I'm just focused on the game right now, or of course she's great, yeah, we get along fantastically, or we make a good team. And I would never say like any sort of like illicit detail or anything true about our actual feelings for each other. And they started getting pissed off during the sessions, and then eventually they said, you know what, Eric? We have the footage. We'll just air it in full. We don't need your commentary.
Yeah.
And so I think that we've established earlier on the Summer of Stein that the producers like people who play ball with them and go along with their storylines of poisoning their fellow house guests with spaghetti beef or whatever, right? They do not like when they have a story that they want to tell and you resist telling the story. So if I were the new budding romance of Tangela, I would start spilling the details in the diary room soon, or their game may be in jeopardy.
Yeah, start spilling it like coffee into a Miami cafecito.
Yeah, otherwise, I would say, objectively speaking, that they are very boring. They're somewhere on about the pecking order of maybe Corey and Nicole for me in terms of how they're sparking my excitement towards them as a couple. I think it probably hurts them in the game. I think it seems very, I don't know, there's something about them. And you know what? Level 6, they've done everything they needed to do in this game. They've played well. They've been effective. They've been a good alliance. But I cannot anoint them at the level that the rest of the fan base actually is. I like to sort of like look at another player and say, how would I feel about playing against them? So I'm going to ask you, Rob, would you be concerned playing a game of strategy against Brett, Casey, Angela, and Tyler? Like, would this be threatening to you? Because I feel like within the scope of this season...
Don't forget about Winston and Rachel.
Yeah. And I am, well, that's true. That does change things. And I am not throwing shade. They have done a very strong job in this environment this season. But I cannot get on board with the two of them as some sort of iconic duo. They've found love. They've masterminded the game. It's just not sparking for me in the way that Chef JC is.
Right. It's not super interesting. You know, if anything, that she is a distraction from where Tyler was at his peak in the game. And so I think if Tyler does still go on to win the game, it will be despite this Showmance and not because that this was a key part of when we look back, like then around week 7, Tyler started to heat things up with Angela. And that was where he really took hold of power in the house. So it was, a distraction, certainly for Tyler. Eric, I want to ask you about this quote from Tyler last night.
You smell like a baby, and it's nice.
Have you ever used that? Is that how you actually got Nicole to go on your first date together?
I'm going to say that to her later and say, hey, you smell like a baby.
Maybe, just maybe, we could have one of the listeners try that out in their online houseguestsonly.com dating profile. That could be the line that they lead with. You smell like a baby.
Yeah.
I'm not exactly sure what that consists of. How would you describe the aroma of a baby?
If somebody told you smelled like a baby, I don't think that's a flattering compliment. I think that's normally babies have a lot of issues where they smell bad. It's like, oh, smell this baby. Honestly, you take it.
Right. You immediately think that she smelled like she soiled herself. So let's,
Yeah.
I guess that could be Tyler's thing, but I don't know. I don't think that's what he was going for.
You smell like a baby, and it's nice.
It's like, I'm going to powder and change you when we get some time alone together.
Let's see. This was also related to Angela from last night. I love this line.
I would much rather get out of this week scotch-free, but...
You think
I love culture.
Is JC also maybe spiking the drinks around the house, and maybe she's on to him? She's like, I'd really love to get out of this week scotch-free, but JC has been...
I am wrecked. I'm really plastered up in here.
I'm tipsy right now.
I think it's highly in the realm of
I'm going to get you nice and drunk, sweetie.
Yeah, it's normally the reverse because, most of the Big Brother house guests are fairly degenerate. So, I mean, most of them come in as borderline alcoholics, and then they get so little alcohol in there, it's like they unwittingly signed up for rehab when they enter the Big Brother house. So normally you already are scotch-free, but she seems to need some time away from the sauce, possibly.
Not the meat sauce that JC has put on the spaghetti. And then, Eric,
I added some scotch. You heard the penne alla vodka. This is beef spaghetti a la scotch.
I made like a pasta with hot dogs, ground beef, and everything I found around the house. It's like a beef sauce.
Now they get sauced. Yeah.
Incinerated coffee grinds from the bottom of the stove.
I like that our JC is just turning into the Triumph, the insult comic dog.
Yeah. Like with the hand gestures of the Swedish chef. I sprinkled in a little bit of...
Eric, he was so mean about Fessy also. I thought that was his friend.
My plan continues to work week after week. And my big fat puppet has no idea what's going on. Oh, God, Faysal. Sorry, my sweetie, I'm gonna miss you, but you might be walking out the door this week.
You might be waddling out the door, my big fat dumb puppet.
I've got a batch of JC's beef sauce waiting for you in the jury house. I was curious also as to what exactly he thinks his plan was this week as it pertained to puppeting Fessy. What did that consist of? Losing his own ally? I'm not really sure, what he enacted this week. He seemed to be, going with the anyone but me strategy this week. But I actually think that this is a bad move for JC to not push back. I think when Angela posed the question in last night's episode, are you willing to vote Fessy out? I would have been like, I'm not so sure about that. That's not my preference. Give a little pushback and, take the temperature of the room. I think JC's game is better served if he has Fessy there without Haley. So I don't know. I actually did not think that week after week, JC had done the trick here.
Yeah, the problem with JC is that he's sort of blinded by Tyler. He always wants to go back to Tyler. If he could somehow, if his master, if everything he was doing was then to somehow, really undermine Tyler, that would be great. But the problem is he has like a faulty plan where I think he wants to go to the end with Tyler.
What if he undermined Tyler by sleeping with Angela?
Well, people keep sending me screen grabs of JC walking out of the shower with Angela.
That's right. Was he? Maybe that's this next long con that we're going to find out about. Ha ha ha!
Yes.
I am not actually gay. I have been showering with your girl.
Now, if his master plan here then went on to be that he made Angela gain 30 pounds in the house so that Tyler lost interest and then wasn't with her anymore, then maybe you could say he's onto something.
Yes, or I heard Sam was gravely concerned about Tyler being too skinny. So it seems like we have conflicting forces at odds, or maybe Sam has teamed up with JC in the effort to fatten him up.
Yeah. Eric,
this is a very tangled web.
Yes, this is an email from one of our listeners, Earl, who says, a perfect Big Brother analogy has come to me tonight. The sudden split of Rachel and Angela a few weeks back, What's Wrong with Angela, must now be named the 7-10 split. The most infamous shot in bowling. Earl says he thinks it's because Rachel is a 7 and Angela is a 10. That's why this works. Please ask your bowling aficionado, Mr. Stein, to double check the scoring.
Well, we did hear from the Zingbot, unbeknownst to us, that apparently Tyler is a little greasy. So maybe this does add up.
Well, they have that rosin bag in the bowling alley.
Yeah, he's throwing up his greased up balls towards Angela and ended up in the 7-10 split.
Oh boy.
Yeah, I actually, to this day, I actually don't know what was wrong with Angela that week. I feel like it would have behooved her for Rachel to stay, but I'm apparently not.
Yeah,
she's doing well. I mean, at this point, I do think, and I'm curious to hear your take. And I know you don't want to go on the record. You're covering this day in and day out, and everything changes on the whim. But it really feels like we're coasting towards a Tyler, one of Casey or Angela, and then like a Sam or JC in the final three. Like it really feels like that's what we're coasting towards. And I'm optimistic, or maybe I should say hopeful, that someone will have greater plans or something that will bust that up a little bit. But it really feels like we're at the point in the season where it would be surprising if 2 out of the 3 of Tyler, Casey, and Angela didn't make it to the end, and also one of those 2 will be Tyler also.
Yeah, it's the least interesting scenario that we're talking about. It's also, I think, the most likely, but this season has been, has dazzled us at every turn. And so it is my great hope that they will
stay crushing it.
So we'll see. I mean, yeah.
What if? How great would it be if we could get JC, Brett, and Haley in the final 3, or something along those lines?
Just to troll Fessy.
Yeah, exactly. Scottie. Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, I would give unlimited book cameos for life to see Scottie plan a kiss on Haley as soon as he walks back in the house.
Yeah, that would be great. Hopefully Fessy is still there, like is like walking out of the backyard at that point.
What if like Bailey and Rockstar have been like building up his confidence in the jury house? Like, just do it. Just go for it. Tell her your feelings.
Well, I don't think they're gonna have a lot of time to be together. I'm not sure. Actually, I'm not sure. I don't know that if they do. You think that they're all living together in one place and then they're gonna like get like a tree mail, like, hey, you guys are going back to the game?
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to say. I will say when I was in the jury house, yes, I have heard people speculating about our alleged handlers. And yes, you are living with like someone from the production team, but we had virtually unlimited alone time. You were sleeping in your own bedrooms with other people. You could go to the pool with other people, go watch a movie with other people. So if they are in the same place, it's a ludicrous notion to think that anyone's keeping them from talking game. The only way they wouldn't be talking game is if they truly have been separated, which is a fairly decent sized expense that I'm not sure production is down for. So my guess is they're in the jury house and they're comparing notes.
Okay. Eric, one other question about Tyler. This is from one of our listeners, Dominic.
Hi, Rob and Eric. This is Dominic, longtime listener but first-time voicemailer. Now, I was curious after watching the most recent HOH competition, and I noticed that it specifically involved rolling a ball into a small hole, which required a lot of hand-eye coordination and aim. And I'm sure we all know that production likes to occasionally favor certain house guests in their challenges or advantages. And as us viewers just happened to learn recently, and Tyler is an experienced bowler. almost certainly has more practice with rolling than any of the other house guests. So my question is, do you think that this challenge was rigged by production in Tyler's favor? And additionally, what could be some other competitions that might hint at potential rigging, like, say, a challenge to get the most TMZ headlines in 1 hour in JC's favor? Thanks.
Hey, he's been out of the tabloids for a while now.
Yeah, I think he's cleared his good name. His reputation is back intact. I will say this. All right, I on my application noted that I can get like sort of motion sickness and dizzy. And the 1 week that my life in the game was on the line, I could have saved Jessica, saved myself from the veto. It would have been forced to backdoor one of our enemies in the house. The competition that week was suspiciously spinning in a chair for 2 minutes and then running around. I nearly vomed. And that's when I knew production was not, in fact, on my side. So as a note to all future prospective Big Brother players, if your least favorite food is actually egg salad, write down one of your favorite foods as your least favorite food. If I had a least favorite food,
egg salad. It's so fattening.
You just lie through your teeth on what you're do or do not like in the house, or it will show up to haunt you in some way, shape, or form. Do not give production additional information, unless, of course, you are production's favorite, in which case they will, in fact, design. And, you know,
so here's I think this is a good point you bring up. If you have a Achilles heel, don't tell that to anybody.
Never. Don't say it once in the house, not on the feed.
Don't go on national TV and say it. Don't tell people in casting. And then if you have to come up with something that's not really your Achilles heel.
That is 100%
correct. See, I'm all ready for David versus Goliath.
Yes. And which side are you on?
David.
Yes, I think that is true, and I do think that this competition did seem right down Tyler's bowling lane, so to speak. So it's surprising that he did not pull out the victory.
Okay,
not the best competition I've ever watched.
Okay, I think I definitely am mixing my metaphors here with David versus Goliath and Achilles heel, but I think it's the same idea.
That's right. We'll just bring Icarus in the mix, Zeus and a few other people. Same. Fine. That'll probably be season 42.
Same idea. Okay. Yeah. All right. Eric, I want to talk about something that's a little bit outside of the show of Big Brother 20, but I think it's pretty interesting. Are you aware of the Twitter account Real Vegas for Sure, Vegas the spoiler, who posts updates from when the feeds are down?
I have heard that there's some drama surrounding this account.
Yes. Okay, so the account, which has been very accurate at times, has also had a lot of drama always circling around the account. Nobody knows a lot about it, but they seem to be able to report these dead-on spoilers from times that the live feeds are down, Eric, and nobody really knows too much about who they are or where they're coming from, which is interesting because they have updates from seemingly inside of the Big Brother house, where you would think that somehow these updates are getting out. I don't know, like you would think that they'd be like, oh, it's the person in the room that's tweeting. Some people have theorized that it could be somebody from production. This could be an intentional leak. It could be somebody who is on the production who's friendly with a former house guest as well, or maybe even a mole on the Big Brother production, Eric. So all these questions are very interesting. Who stands to gain from leaking things from the feeds? What do they have to get for it? Why is this person doing any of these things? And does Big Brother want this to happen? Why can't they shut it down? It seems like they wouldn't want to have these things. They had the feeds down for a reason. Are they just trying to pacify a very aggressive and curious fan base? Or is there something more duplicitous going on here, Eric? You're the person that knows everything. And I have you on the line. So what do you think, Eric? All right. I got Eric Stein here on the line, who is a former Big Brother contestant. He is very familiar with all sorts of reality TV production. Eric, what do you think about what's going on here with this person, Real Vegas for sure, on Twitter?
Well, Rob, you may remember I was also an 11-year-old gumshoe that tried to find where in the world is Carmen Sandiego. So I'm going to help you find out who in the world is Vegas the spoiler.
The suspect.
Yep. And I brought in my great friend, Detective Derek Levasseur. And Summer of Steve 2018.
Summer of Steve 2018.
We've assembled a crack team here to try to get to the bottom of this. And let's theorize some things. Do you have any suspects on your list, possibly?
No, not at this time.
Okay, I did do a little bit of investigation.
Due diligence.
And I was surprised to find a name close to the Rob Has a Podcast family. One of your guests from earlier this summer is apparently trending as a potential suspect.
Oh, who is it, Eric?
I am not confirming nor denying my beliefs on this matter, but I saw one Big Mish as a possibility.
I am nice to you sometimes.
I have heard this speculation. This seems so crazy that this could be true.
I'm going to say this so you don't have to. Based on her appearance on your podcast early in the summer, I think it's safe to say she does not have a lot of high-level information about Big Brother 20.
And although she did play in a season with one Glenn, who has maybe the two together can master multiple social media identities.
Oh, okay. Yes. Actually, that is a very interesting theory. Could this be the Joey Rodriguez, possibly? They're like, the next tweet is like, Brett and Tyler are eating salads in the HOH room during the veto competition.
Yeah. So we don't know. I think that's I've heard that theory. That seems like
I'm gonna put odds on this. Not that I'm condoning gambling on this, but I'm gonna put Big Mish off at 5,000 to 1 odds. That is Vegas the spoiler. It will pay big if it proves true. I do not think...
I'm with you.
That's going to
So there was some drama over the weekend. Of course, we had been getting this information all season. I don't think there was one thing that came out where they got it wrong. But over the weekend, enter Saturday, Vegas seemed very upset. Real Vegas for sure came to Twitter to post... No veto comp spoiler today due to the ridiculous amount of demands and not even a please in the bunch. Take for granted and be entitled equals no info. I tried to nicely tell everyone this numerous times, but it didn't work. So it'll be a blackout until the entitled demands stop. Basically, the no spoilers for you.
Wow, it's the spoiler Nazi.
Yeah. That's it.
That's right. Off the line. Right? This is terrible. Well, this is a scandal. This is how will anyone ever wait like an hour or two to find out information about these competitions on the live feeds? This is brutal.
And which then get turned into a TV show.
Yeah, this is exactly. This is rough. This harkens back to the Reality Steve versus the producers of the Bachelor lawsuit. This is like the time that the Glass House stole 18 of Big Brother's producers and their rule book to produce a new show. Mm-hmm. This is an inside shop scandal that we have here. A good old fashioned reality TV drama. Also, what was in there? Russell Hantz's friend who spoiled about 10 seasons of Survivor.
I believe that story was, I think that Russell Hantz was tricked into giving spoilers. I mean, I don't think that's, you would think that would be impossible to trick Russell Hantz, but I think that somebody, I don't think Russell was intentionally giving the spoilers. I think that somebody was a mole. And
it was one of the greatest spoilers of all time.
Right.
Right alongside of Real Vegas for sure.
Right. I think that somebody was like calling Russell Hantz on the phone. I believe he was like, had loose lips with everything and inadvertently spoiled the season.
All right. There is a Rachel Riley photo as the icon.
Yes.
But this is the real
Vegas for sure.
Is it possible that this is in fact Rachel Swindler providing information from?
Well, she was in the house. She was in the house at the time.
I know, but maybe they gave her access to a phone, possibly. Double duty.
So, Eric, I want to. So that was the first tweet from Vegas. This was from 9:07 a.m. on August 25th. Later in the day, there would be an update, but not the update that Big Brother fans were hoping for. At 12 o'clock on August 25th, just as an FYI, I came on this AM to drop the following info before I saw the rude demands. And the Real Vegas for sure goes on to list the things that they were going to reveal, including 1, if Bailey's Power app would be revived. 2, the veto competition style. 3, updated Angela DR sesh on Tyler. And 4, the battle back competition style. May share some of it once I lift my blackout. Maybe.
Oof. That one hurts.
Gentlemen. Wow.
Wow, that is tough. That could have been a bounty of information. This escalated quickly.
Yes. So then at some point during the day on Saturday, a Real Vegas for sure got so mad, turned the account private, has since come back. There was another update as well that said, if you managed to not be blocked today, you were supportive and understanding of why I did the blackout. It was needed. To you all, love. Or if you're a hater, yet follow me for the same reason, if you don't like how I run my page, leave. I won't notice, nor mind, or care. Basically, this is the Twitter version of some wise words.
I remember all my ride or dies from the beginning. I see who flip-flops. I see who comes back when the times are good. I see who leaves when the times are bad.
If I had to give advice to Real Vegas for sure, I would say you got to keep feeding the positive. And if you keep feeding the positive, the negative will go away and you'll only focus on the positive. So just keep crushing it, my dude.
Stay crushing it.
What is the proper response to when you let, hey, everybody, the veto competition today is going to be the OTEV. What is the, like, oh, thank you.
Right. Oh, yes, the things you have done for us.
1,000 blessings to you and yours.
Yes, queen.
Yes, slay. So,
mommy. Hi, mommy.
Hi, mommy. Eric, I felt like I could not relate to what Real Vegas for sure was going through, because maybe Real Vegas for sure gets a lot of hate, and I needed to tweet 1,000 miles in Real Vegas for sure's clown shoes, so I could get a feel. So this morning I decided to put up a tweet of my own, Eric. And I tweeted out to my followers, no Summer of Stein podcast today due to the ridiculous amount of demands, not even a please in the bunch. Take for granted and be entitled equals no podcast. I tried nicely to tell everyone this numerous times, but it didn't work. So it'll be a blackout until the entitled demands stop.
Oh, man, this is really taking the story off the course I was expecting here. This is shocking. I cannot imagine that this went well for you. And I'm sorry for those demands. I was the one, in fact, making the demands. I submit a podcast rider for what I required in my green room. And Yeah, it was exactly. It was my ride or die for my green room, and all I requested was several bowls of JC's spaghetti. This sort of like a beef sauce.
Eric, it did not go great. There were some of my real fans that they were there from the beginning. They understood what I was going for here.
Did you encounter some flip-floppers?
But there were some flip-floppers. There were some people that were not there with me from the beginning, and I got some hate. I got some hate from people, but I also, Eric, then got a response from Real Vegas for Sure, which was, "You are now blocked from Real Vegas."
That was not being supportive, Rob. Don't you mock this very serious situation. Big Mish, don't play that.
But then very quickly after that, then I was unblocked, and it did seem like that Real Vegas for Sure maybe came around on my tweet today, because then we went from I was blocked to then Real Vegas for Sure said to me that thanks for Real Vegas for Sure actually goes back and forth, tweets things, deletes things back and forth. At one point it had said, glad I could help you get some faves and RTs today, but now I think that response is gone. So it's a real roller coaster.
Well, this actually could be a clue, though, right? Because this means that Real Vegas for Sure is monitoring your doings on the Twitter machine, right? So this is very interesting. That's a kernel of information that we can use in our investigation here.
So,
also, I'd like to point out the very obvious thing here, lost in all of the Vegas exposed party of it all, is that if production did not want these things tweeted, this would be shut down so fast they would have no idea what hit them.
Yeah.
So, if the production is okay with this, whether it's coming directly from them or not, this is not really inside information.
Yes, is Real Vegas for Sure Allison Grodner?
It's a distinct possibility, or the owl that lives in her nest of hair, possibly.
Orwell. Yes.
Yeah. Oh, maybe that's the Orwell's origin. I should have put two and two together.
All right. So
Orwell the Oracle.
More info for this as it comes, and then for Real Vegas for Sure, you do your thing.
Stay crushing it.
Okay. All right, Eric. Let's see. What else do we?
I hope you stay unblocked, Rob. That was a
roller coaster. That was a roller coaster. Yeah. And look, podcast listeners, you better be appreciative, or that's it. No more Summer of Stein this week. I expect a please. No more entitled demands.
Yeah, there's been 3 or 4 times there was almost no more Summer of Stein regardless. So we don't need anything to push it over the ledge.
That's right. Okay. Eric, let's go back to some more questions from our listeners. And let's see. Here's one. This is from the Melissa bot. Wants to talk about a question for Eric. Any chance of getting some Swaggy E merchandise, a la Swaggy C? Could we get a Swaggy E shirt up in the store?
I think it's safe to say that I would receive a cease and desist if I put those up. It'd have to be the unauthorized Swaggy shirt
retailer.
I will say this, and this is not going to be, no one's going to be happy that I'm being nice about this, but I actually kind of felt badly after we trolled Swaggy C, because I did not, in fact, insult him in any way, nor do I have any problem with him in any way. I simply tweeted an encouraging, congratulatory tweet that I wanted him to send Fessy on its course. It is not my fault that the response he got was not favorable from the Big Brother fans, but it did, both my encounters with Swaggy and Paulie this week did kind of inform me to why there will never be an All-Stars 2, because we unintentionally trolled the hell out of and completely controlled the actions of 2 people we don't even know this week by not even attempting to do so accidentally. So this is
purely accidentally.
Purely accidentally. There was no intent behind the action. And I will say, this is why they don't want to see Ian and Vanessa and Derek take on Swaggy and Paulie and Kevin Schleuber on All Stars because it's not going to end well, guys. You're going to lose all of your good characters and your most popular recent players in the first 8 weeks, and then everyone will go to sleep for the rest of the summer. So you need to either go all Swaggies or all Derek's, but you cannot do a middle
Can't do
ground
Swaggies versus Derek's.
That is correct.
Okay. I do think that there is an idea here for the some sort of Eric Stein T-shirt.
Oh yeah, well, how would you design it?
I don't know.
I could just imagine the ones of people.
I think that you should go with Here's your T-shirt, Clammy E.
Yes, mighty clammy. That's the hashtag of the summer.
Clammy E, and then we get like all sorts of Clammy E merchandise.
I have only had to re-shower once or twice this week, so take that.
Okay. This is a good question. This is from Torrin Armstrong. Have Rob and Eric subscribed to Swaggy's YouTube channel, a.k.a. the Swaley Gang? It also appears to be some sort of an animated series, which is coming, the Swaley Gang.
How great would that be? Could you imagine they have their own cartoon coming this fall?
That would be good.
And her family, this would be amazing. Oh man, this is really good. And Ron Jeremy will voice the baby for only $150 a line.
Yeah, that would be great. Ron Jeremy wouldn't realize that he was actually doing the lines of this. Like, what is this line you want me to say?
You smell like a baby, and it's nice.
Okay.
This is completely genius. What if we pull together $100, buy 10 Stephen Fishback messages, and have him read off 10 different messages that we can then cobble together and use as some sort of animated or other story that we could use for diabolical purposes? We could then take him, put them together into one, and then send them to someone else as a message we've strung together.
So me and you, we need to get the help of somebody that can do some sort of like computer animation, claymation, whatever it is. And then we're going to write the Stephen Fishback and Paulie Calafiore, our roommates, sitcom. And then we're going to be like, this is how like South Park started. We'll send it around to people and then it'll, and then development deal.
My man, what is good? I'm just checking out the new opera.
Lots of things are good. What do you mean? The Sunday New York Times crossword puzzle. That's what I love about you, my man.
You've been with the crossword puzzle from the beginning.
And I'm doing it in ink. Okay. All right. So yeah, the Swaley Gang. I went to go check it out, but I don't think there's any videos on the. I didn't see any.
Well, the gang's not together yet, so maybe it's just a sign of things to come. What would be our sort of duo name, celebrity pair name? I don't know if ours go really.
Yeah.
I don't think Roberick sounds that good.
Yeah, it sounds like a rubric. That's not good.
I guess maybe Arab, possibly.
Arab. I mean, that sounds about right. Yeah.
Roberick and Arab tearing up the town.
Yeah, we don't have a good Steiner Nino. It's really there's nothing good. Yeah, so we're way into Swaley Gang. We're dying for it to come out. But I don't think you could subscribe to it, but this channel doesn't have any content.
All right, you can hold me to this. Even if I've gone back underground after the Summer of Stein, I know you will be deep into the next Survivor season. But if the Swaley Gang puts out an episodic YouTube show, I will binge them all and come back to recap them with you.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, we do get a little bit of a description here from YouTube in the account. So, Chris Swaggy C. Williams and Bailey Amethyst Dayton's family.
Are we to take that as her middle name? Is that what we're going with here?
Now, what do they mean by a family channel for the Swaley Gang? It's going to be about the life of their family. That's interesting.
I guess we'll find out in the baby back battle back competition, possibly. But also,
you smell like a baby, and it's nice.
Oh yes. Oh my God, maybe who's smelling like a baby now? But if this is her actual middle name, then that means her initials are bad. How awesome is that?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's amazing.
So the family channel, be sure to subscribe for vlogs, life after Big Brother, and then ...
Yeah, no one's ever tried the great life after Big Brother vlogs before. Those are normally a recipe towards later superstardom.
Yes. Okay. So maybe there'll be a crossover with Living Jody. So I'm very excited for Swaley Gang.
Where are they going to advertise next? With guest appearances from Marlena?
Yes. For the Swaley the animated series. That should be good. And then, Eric, another question that we got from Twitter this week. This is from the Nick That Sucks. Please draft adjectives that Haley will use to describe Julie before the end of the season. Bonus points if she uses it when she casts her jury vote during the finale. Okay, Eric, we've heard a lot from Haley this season with all of her different votes. The most recent was...
Hi, Haley. Hi, Julie. You look radiant.
Yes. So, Eric, do you...
You know that just Julie wants to slap the taste out of her mouth after this?
Yeah,
She's
she wants
sick
to
of
tell her TTFN.
Yeah.
So, Eric, what adjectives? Let's how many rounds should we have in the adjective
All right,
draft?
let's go 3 each.
3 each.
3 each.
Okay.
I think that's fair. Also, just as an aside, I don't know if you've noticed this, and if you haven't, as soon as I say this, you will never be able to unsee what I'm about to say. Have you noticed that in her diary room sessions, Haley looks up diagonally over her, like into her right eyes every single time? She both rolls her eyes in that direction and turns her head every single diary
Can you give us
session.
what that looks like?
I'm not sure I can. It's like I thought that Faysal was on my side, but now
Yes.
I think it's like she's having some sort of like moment of I don't know, where she's
She's
considering
got like pupil at like 11 o'clock, and then the head follows suit.
Yeah, I'm not one to talk. I had a real twitchy eyebrow
Yeah.
in there, but I'm just saying, once
It's a little bit like...
pay attention to this in the next episode,
Is there a
and you will
spider
notice
up there?
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
It's like she has a secret that no one else has. It's
Uh-oh.
some sort of form of in enticing the audience.
Secrets are no good.
Secrets are no fun.
Yeah.
Ta-ta for now. I'm gonna come back from the jury house with plenty of secrets. No fun.
Let's go.
Okay.
I'm the Vegas for real, the spoiler.
Okay, Eric, let's go ahead and begin the adjective draft.
You want to go
don't think
first
we need,
or second, third?
I don't think we need a snake draft here. I think there's plenty of adjectives. I think we can go back and forth.
All right, I'll get as our host. Then I will give you the number 1 draft pick.
Yes. Okay. I will go with tremendous.
I will go with this is 2 words, but positively bewitching.
Oh, that was a reach for that one. I think that would have been on the board at the end.
It doesn't matter. I've got plenty where they come from. All right, you're up next.
How about mesmerizing?
Oh, I like that. I'm going to go with magnificent, not magnificent.
I will go with striking.
Oh, that I feel like you just earned a point. That one hit me in the gut. All right. My last one, I'm going to go with really bleeping sexy.
Oh, she'll curse. Yes, please, no cursing.
Yes. She's like Tixie, she's like been like really building up to it, and then that final one, she's just gonna hit her with her true feelings.
Please don't curse. Please don't curse.
Whoa, that's wild.
Hashtag shocker.
All right. Do I have anything else for Eric Stein today? No. This is Eric from Cape Cod wants to know, will we see people in future seasons do the intentional faute?
What, just get all eliminated?
Be the last person standing from their alliance and then be overlooked and brought to the end.
Yeah, I don't think that's you see, right. Unlike the intentional Matt Singh, I don't think how that's the intentional faute is going to go. I think that they're just all going to go in succession. But they are pulling off something that could be truly incredible. If you think about this, right? If they lose a member this week, then they will have the first 4 members, if you go to the faute hive of the jury. It is distinctly possible they then can send someone home next week and possibly the person who battles back sent home again. So Faute could actually pull off the unthinkable and be eliminated as the first 6 members of the jury. So you need to be good enough to advance yourselves all to the jury and get back into the house and go out 6 weeks in a row.
Not bad.
So yeah, I mean, that would be a strategy to lead with next year. Be like, hey guys, this is what production did to counteract last year, all of the mats playing to get to jury. Now this year they had a full alliance play to get to be the first 6 members out of the jury.
Stay crushing it.
Okay.
That's right.
Okay. Eric, I don't think I have anything else for you. Do you have any other thoughts that you want to get out there?
This is going to be an unpopular thought with you, but something I think may have tipped over with Brett this week. I think he might have started to become a caricature of his own self.
Yes.
I think he had found the sweet spot. And he had the great goodbye messages, the perfect DRs, the right energy in the house. And now as he's like channeling his inner Ben Stiller in Dodgeball ever so slightly more, I think he might have now like overdone it. And he's gone too far.
Yes.
You know, I think he's starting to lose his good favor with me inside of the house.
Okay. How can he get it back?
Eliminate Tyler.
Okay.
That's about it. Otherwise, he's going to just go and take this overdone personality right to the jury house right after Faute. Otherwise.
Okay. All right. That will do it for us. We had so much fun this week, and Eric is such a saint. I keep him waiting for so long while I'm pulling all this stuff together. He doesn't complain, which is rare about anything. And so, Eric Stein, thank you for 9 weeks of amazing or pretty good content.
Well, I know we were delayed because you were in a Twitter beef, not to be confused with the beef
sauce.
found on exactly something like beef sauce.
Yeah. All right. Well,
I know we haven't been doing hashtags for the Summer of Stein, but I do kind of feel like hashtag beef sauce might be called for this week.
Hashtag beef sauce between our Twitter beefs, between that, and that's really what the Summer of Stein is, where it's like we get some hot dogs from the fridge, a bunch of stuff, we put it in there and give it to you.
Describes the podcast perfectly. It turns out into one piping, steaming hot dish of
hot dog pasta,
mediocrity hodgepodge. Exactly.
I made like a pasta with hot dogs, ground beef, and everything I found around the house. It's like a beef sauce.
This must be why Caitlin and Steve and Paulie and James did not attend the viewing party, because we did not have enough beef sauce to go around.
We take some tweets, some voicemail, some book Cameo stuff, and put it all in there.
It is the greatest inside joke, only nobody's listening. Two of them.
And if you don't, you are a big dumb puppy.
I'd be honored to be his new big fat puppet.
All right.
I've been inadvertently falling prey to his strategy for many summers in a row now, overeating disgusting food.
All right, Clammy E, do you have anything else to add?
Now I'm ready for our final salutations here, my friend.
Okay. Follow at Real Eric Stein, or Eric Stein tweets. I guess between Real Vegas for sure, Real Zingbot. It's too much. Eric Stein tweets.
Eric for real.
Yeah.
Exactly. If anyone is impersonating me, they need some words of positivity from Paulie C.
Yeah. Stay crushing it.
All right. I am at Rob Sestrino. We love hearing from you guys. Hashtag beef sauce. Hashtag Summer of Stein. We will be back with a special Battle Back Spectacular coming up. Baby Back Spectacular. Friday, perhaps. We are very excited. And we'll be live from Chili's. That's the plan.
I want my baby back, baby back, baby back, baby back, baby in the house. I'll have baby Dino the dog on standby in case we need a guest baby cameo in the house.
All right. So all of that and more coming up on Friday. Of course, thank you so much to the patrons of Rob as a Podcast who make all of this nonsense possible. Find out more about the benefits of becoming a patron at robhaswebsite.com/patron. Eric, let's go ahead and bring this baby, or I should say this show home. Here we go. Eric better deliver the goods in these book cameos that he's giving out to people. I want to see him cooking and eating everything JC puts in front of his plate.
If Rob thinks he can just move the Summer of Stein to Fridays, then he's got more than a bowl of beef sauce coming his way.
What will happen when Rob and Eric try out JC's latest concoction? And will Real Vegas for Sure come for Eric next? Find out on next week's Summer of Stein.
Or is it me?
Stay crushing it.